Welcome back, Shalloners. That's right, Valentine's Day is almost upon us, but around here we don't call it Valentine's Day. No, because we are no basic bitches. We are no girls who sit home, if only I had a man, then my life would be complete. Honey. We celebrate Shallontine's Day because Shallontine's Day is a completely different holiday. Yes, we eat a lot of chocolates, as is our right. Yes, we wear a lot of pink because it flatters our skin tone sometimes. But we look at Shallontine's Day as an opportunity to make our relationships better. And maybe that means a relationship with ourselves, because I'm going to do some videos on how to be happy single, how to thrive when you're single, and actually how to realize it's kind of better to be single, like most of the time. But sometimes we are in a relationship, and that means we're going to make that relationship better too. So buckle up. We're kicking off Shallontine's Day with a video today on how to make your man more romantic and thoughtful. It's not easy, but it is possible. But first, just want to remind you, if you have a love question, you want to talk one-on-one, head over to my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. You can also take a super fun quiz to see how your social media is stacking up and what kind of vibe it's putting out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at shallonxo, where you can keep up with my travel adventures, get some cool, fun daily inspiration, and vote on the next video topic. Love it. Love the input. So the stuff we're going to be covering for Shallontine's Day, I've got some ideas, but we're basically also going to do an extra podcast because, as you know, Girl on Top is out every Wednesday where I answer your best questions from the week. But this Friday, in honor of actual Valentine's Day, we're going to do a special Shallontine's Day podcast sharing, our worst ever Valentine's Day stories and what we can learn from it. So if you've got a terrible V-Day story, leave it in the comment section or leave it in the comments of one of my Instagrams. Please no DMs. I get thousands. I can't open them all. I know. I'm sorry. I need a social media manager. I'm sorry. But we're going to share and we're going to commiserate, and I'm going to share a story time with my, not one, but two incredibly nightmarish Valentine's Days that I hope no one else has to go through. Unless, of course, it's the guys who did it to me. Anyway, when we think of Valentine's Day, expectations are high. And this is why this holiday is like a gift and a curse. Because if you're in a relationship, it's like you have so many expectations for what you want to happen. And that's why I was saying it's almost better to be single, because then it's like, can't nobody disappoint me. The world's already a huge disappointment. That's fine. But when we have someone to like localize all our hopes and dreams and expectations on, hey, Kyle from SAE, you will do fine. But this is what you need to know. Valentine's Day is like prom, where, like, looking back, the way I felt about prom was like, it was the confluence of all of my teen energy, all of my romantic fantasies, everything I wanted to happen with a boy and the guy I had a crush on, like funneled down into a 4-hour dance. If my whole life didn't change, if it wasn't the most romantic rom-com scenario, it was going to be a failure. Guess what? It always felt like a failure because my expectations were insane. I was making these events a hurt locker. What's a hurt locker? Well, if you're not new to this channel, you know about a hurt locker. It's the name I give to people in which we store our hurts or our hopes, our dreams, or our idea of what we want for our life and ourselves. And in a person, this usually happens when we fixate on a guy and he becomes a hurt locker. It's like a guy we can't get over and we're like stuck. Because it's not so much that we want to date them, actually, it's that we admire them and we like can't process it, so it comes out as obsession. But events can be hurt lockers too. In the same way, like we obsess about a person because we want to be them, we put all of our hurts and our hopes into this event. Prom, Valentine's Day, our wedding day, the day we get engaged, losing our virginity, whatever it might be. And then we obsess about it and it always falls short of expectations. Just like if we actually dated the guys we obsessed about, we'd be like, oh, you pick your teeth at dinner. Like we're gonna have to see them eventually as human and not living up to our expectations. But that doesn't mean that you should just give up and you should have no expectations. My only point is, don't look at this holiday as the time and the place and the zero event where he proves his love to you and nothing else matters. Guys don't really work like that. I mean, for the most part. And you know what? They shouldn't. Him proving how he feels about you should be a day-to-day thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's a thing that happens constantly, not a single event. Because think about it if it was. Think about if he was just dick, super romantic, back to dick on February 15th. Like, you would not find that cool. You would find that too little too late, some sort of over-the-top triage measure. And we've talked about guys who do stuff like this, who are like dick. huge grand gestures, back to being an asshole. And we have a name for them. Travis Scott. That's the name. It's him. Travis Scott chronically does this with Kylie, which is a big reason they broke up. He like is a shit boyfriend, and then he'll do things like fill her entire house with 72,000 roses. Do you check the girl's allergies? Okay, maybe she's allergic. I'm hyper allergic to roses, but I put them in here because I care about you guys and aesthetics over allergies. So if I get progressively more nasally, that's what's happening. My body's slowly shutting down, but it's all for the Shallon trash. So you don't want someone who's doing a Travis Scott, where they just come out like, bleh, they spend a bunch of money, they do something, and you're like, but I wish you would listen to me on a day-to-day basis. I wish you would be thoughtful on a day-to-day basis. And if you're watching this video, that might be what you're dealing with. You might be fixating on Valentine's Day, like he's got to be over the top and blah, 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 Cartier love bracelets, 10,000 roses, because maybe you're not getting any of it in your day-to-day life with him. It's a feast or famine scenario. So you're like, he's got to pull it out. He's got to pull it out. I'm telling you right now, that's probably not going to happen. And I don't want it to happen because you got to read the writing on the wall. If this is the guy you're dealing with, and this is, I feel like I'm telling all these advices out of order. Just go with it. If you're dealing with a guy who chronically is not thoughtful, who chronically is not romantic, that might be the writing on the wall. And I get so many questions from you. I get thousands and thousands of questions from you guys, and it almost never comes down to, I didn't know that's who he was. It always comes down to, I saw it and I chose to ignore it, to my own peril. When I talk to you guys when you're heartbroken, that's what it comes down to. The writing was on the wall, but I was, I can't see. You were choosing not to read it. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean the truth doesn't still exist. But I feel like I'm being very nihilistic. And you're probably like, this is not what I wanted to hear. It doesn't have to be, because a lot of things are fixable. And a lot of men are teachable, like animals. Because, yeah. So the first thing I have to do is take off this headband. I feel like it's squeezing the life out of me. Oh my God. What? Does anyone like test these things before they make them? It just matched so well. Sorry. So the first thing you have to do is identify what is lacking. Men are specific creatures, and this is how our communication breaks down between men and women. Women communicate to build relationships. Men communicate to solve problems, right? So these two aren't the same. We know this because we'll come home from a bad day and we're like, and then she said this, I don't know, and we're just like venting. We're just venting, and we want to hug. We want to be like, yeah, fuck Kristen. Yeah, fuck Deb and HR. And they're like, well, you know what? I told you the other day to put blah, blah, blah. And we're like, this could not be less helpful. It could not be more infuriating, actually. Because we're trying to build a relationship. We're trying to be heard, empathize. That's relationship building. They're trying to fix it. And if they can't fix it, they're like, ugh. They get really frustrated and they throw up their hands, and then they make us feel dumb, like, not always intentionally, but we end up feeling dumb because they're frustrated. And then we're like, well, no, I don't want you to be upset. Man who isn't at all involved in it. It's like we end up reorienting to help them. It's just like, But if we know that like, hey, he's not gonna understand how to like deal with what I'm telling him unless I give him steps. Unless I get real specific. Guys don't take hints. They're not good at it. They're very, I don't want to say dumb, obtuse. They're a little bit more opaque, shall we say. It's my favorite insult. You are quite opaque. Like tights? No, like an idiot. Foggy window, a face unclouded by thought. So get specific about what's lacking. And an easy way to do this is with the 5 love languages. There's a book called The 5 Languages of Love, which I've talked about before. It's like randomly like very like Jesus centric. I have no idea. Jesus's love language is like plagues and water into wine. I don't know. But there's 5 love languages, right? There's physical touch, acts of service, like you took out the garbage without having to ask, or you hung this picture on the wall and blah, blah, blah. You drove me to Target. Gifts. Y'all know what a gift is. Affirmations or compliments. You're doing great. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. Quality time. So that means not Netflix and chill. That means you're sitting at dinner, you're talking about your day, they're really focused on you, vice versa. Quality time. Maybe your quality time is you go for walks together. Maybe it's you work out and that's how you bond and that's how you talk. It's a thing that you do without other distractions that don't involve other people. That's what quality time is. And most people have like one primary and then a secondary one. Mine is affirmation. I need to be told I'm a good girl. I need for you to parrot my sentiments back to me. You know, if I'm frustrated, you should be like, that's frustrating. I'm like, I know. Like, I need to be heard and I need to be complimented and I need to be told I'm doing a really good job and that you're proud of me. My secondary one is acts of service. I need you to say you're proud of me while you're taking out the recycling because I hate doing it. Thank you. That's great. Gifts are great, not super important to me. But think about what's important to you. And then think about maybe what his are. Because he might be, most people give what they want to get. You know, if he's giving you gifts all the time, but like there's not a lot of quality time because he's busy, his thing is gifts, you know, like quality time maybe isn't that important to him. But you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So figure out what it is you need and what you're lacking, and then sit down with him and have a very casual conversation. If you take nothing from this video, take this. Do not have these conversations when you're already mad. Don't do it. Because it's not going to come out as anything productive. You're not going to be able to do the number one thing you need to in order to bring about positive change, which is positive reinforcement. We'll get to that in a minute. You're going to come at him from an attacking standpoint, and he's going to associate Valentine's Day or talks with you as an attack. And guess what? He's not going to want to do them anymore, and you kind of can't blame him. So that's why this is the first video on Shallontine's Day. I want to give you a little bit of time to work this out so that at like 11:59 on February 13th, you're not like breathing fire because you know he's not coming through. So be like, what are your love languages? And he might be like, I don't know, none of them, all of them, football, nacho cheese, motor oil, whatever dudes like, blowjobs. Every dude likes blowjobs. That's probably not. A lot of guys really do like physical touch though. Like that's why dudes don't do very well in long-term relationships. They're too physically dependent on the constant presence of a girl. They need to like touch her, see her. She has to be there. Even if you're not like boning or like doing anything, like they need that companionship. And it can be hard to read between the lines. If he doesn't know how to express himself, ask him what his best gift ever was. What are the most thoughtful things someone did for him? Ask them the most thoughtful things someone did. Because gifts, like dudes maybe like, if he has brothers, it's like, I don't know, like a rock glued to cardboard. So the most thoughtful thing someone did, was it an act of service? Was it he had a bad day and his dad sat down with him and gave him a pep talk? That means words of affirmation. Was it he had a girlfriend in college who had sex with him 7 times on his birthday? So try to get a sense. And then you, because this is a very casual, breezy, neutral story time, share your best gift. You know, try not to make it too much about an ex. If possible, make it something he has done in the past, because here's where the positive reinforcement comes in. You want to bring about change. You got to let them know what they're doing well so that they can do more of it. You can maybe like pepper, just a little sprinkle of what they're doing poorly, but think about it. How much do you want to connect to someone and give to them if they're ragging on you for all the shit that you're doing wrong? I don't. You tell me everything I'm doing wrong, I was like, you can get the hell out of my house. How about that? You don't like the way I do this? You can go hire someone off TaskRabbit to do it, or maybe Backpage. How's that sound? So, but if they're like, you know, when you cooked me dinner the other night, that made me so happy. It was just such a long day and I didn't feel like ordering and deciding, and you just like cooked it and I just felt so taken care of. I'm like, yeah, I did microwave those Pop-Tarts. I'm the backbone of this household. And it makes me want to do it more. So think of an example that he has had a hand in, or something that seems possible in his realm, you know, that he could maybe execute. Or even, this is better. Because if say the most romantic thing or thoughtful thing was like an ex, pretend it's your friend's ex. So like Katie's ex-boyfriend, when he asked her to be his girlfriend, he made this whole box of all like this like mementos of their relationship. Be like, it was so sweet. I thought it was so cute. She loved it. And then if he's kind of still not getting the hint, be like, do you know why I liked it? I'll be like, You like square boxes? No, Danielle. Be like, because it really showed he was paying attention to the little moments in their relationship, and that he cherished those small moments with her the way I cherish those moments with you. Like when we went apple picking and you tripped over that pig. That was really funny, and I saw a little piggy figurine the other day and I was like, I want to give that to him because this reminds me when he fell over the pig. Whatever, But look, sometimes you can't get blood from a turnip. You know what I mean? You got to gauge how this conversation is going, okay? Because it's important he knows this is not just about February 14th. And the expectations on him do not start at 12:01 and do not end at 11:59. They go on all the time. This is a chance, a gateway for you to have a larger discussion about what you need out of a relationship. And whatever you need, if you need oral and gifts, you need oral and gifts, my girl. That's okay. But you are not going to find what you need, number one, if you can't identify it. And number two, if you're in a relationship with someone who does not care. And if he is resistant to this conversation, which as we were talking about it, you didn't feel attacked. You didn't feel like, oh, this is a risky, spiky conversation. You're like, yeah, I could have this conversation with almost anyone. I can have it with Shallon, a stranger on the internet. So you should be able to have it with someone who ostensibly cares about you, if not loves you a lot, right? And if he's not receptive to this, and you got to watch body language, arms crossed, hand touching the back of the neck, very bad, very, very, very bad. Covering his face when he answers. When people do that, they're lying or they don't want to speak, so they're trying to like physically keep the words in. It's not good. You got to read between the lines and read the writing on the wall. If he doesn't care, girl. He doesn't care. And you can come to him with a K jewelry catalog and be like, I want this and this, and I want you to get down on one knee and blah, 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 and I want you to write a poem. And it's like at some point, I don't want to have to tell someone what I need. I don't want to have to tell them to buy me a present. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? I don't want to tell them, hey, please listen to me when I'm in pain. Hey, if I have a bad day, I really need you to stop playing Fortnite. Hey, I need you to care about my family. He doesn't. And do not underestimate how shitty that is. Don't underestimate how catastrophic this is, because it is catastrophic. Recent studies have concluded that the number one factor, and the only factor in a healthy relationship is when I am in pain, the world stops and he listens. That's it. If you could have all the gifts, all the oral, all the acts of service you want, but when you're in pain and he's like, I gotta go, I gotta wash my hair, my cat, gotta wash some things. Then what do you have? You have a bunch of things that you could have outsourced on TaskRabbit. It's not a TaskRabbit ad. You have things that your friends could have given to you, that strangers could have given to you, that a service professional could have given you. You don't have the intangible empathy of love, of true emotional commitment and concern. So if you don't have that, I don't know. I talked to one of you guys the other day, not receptive to my advice, but you were saying that you are trying to make your boyfriend more romantic and open up more because you've been together for like 2 or 3 years and all you have are these very surface conversations. He doesn't open up, he doesn't want to talk, and he doesn't want to hear about my day. I was like, that's because he doesn't care. I don't know what else to tell you. He doesn't care about your day. He has no organic curiosity, and you can ask him a million different questions. You can pull out little cards from a jar that you bought at Home Goods and, tell me about this. He doesn't give a shit, okay? And I understand that's hard to hear. And she's like, no, I said our relationship is great. I said, I'm saying it's not. Because, I don't know, man. You don't seem like a surface kind of girl. You seem like a deep, cool, smart, ambitious woman. I am too. All of you guys are. Why would you accept that bullshit from someone who's like the primary in your life? Why do you think that's what you deserve? You don't. Why do you think it can't be better than that? It can. And it's gotta be. It's gotta be. So if your partner doesn't care, They don't care. And you have to look at that because it's not going to change. If they don't care when you're dating, they're not going to care if you're married. They're not going to care when you have a kid together. If you even get to these points, and you shouldn't. Sorry, I'm so itchy. You got to read that writing on the wall. But like I said, people can be taught. And if you sit them down and be like, this is what I love about our relationship. This is everything you're doing right. And this is what I need more of. Don't say this is what you're doing wrong. Because like I said, how likely is that going to make him to be thoughtful? I don't want to be thoughtful and romantic towards someone who's like wagging their finger at me. No. So look at what they're doing right and ask them to amplify that. And if they seem like that is just a huge task, girl, maybe it is. Maybe your expectations aren't super realistic, but I have a feeling they are. I have a feeling you're good. But even if to them, they are super crazy, unrealistic expectations, then that's it. That's what it is. You don't have to be in that relationship either. Who says that their summation of your needs is correct? I need someone to care about my career, like care a lot about my career. And I told you guys, like I was talking to this one dude and this is, like obviously after Max and I broke up, and he was like, I don't really like get what you do. I was like, then I don't really feel like fucking explaining it to you. And I had explained it. And he's like, I just think that's weird. I was like, well, I think you're short. Let's go. I didn't say that, but I should have, because he was. And I think short men should know that. No, because I'll probably shoot up a mall or something. Whatever. But maybe to him, my expectation of like how much people need to care about my career and what I do is over the top. Okay, maybe bro, you're under the top. Think about that. Maybe I'm not too much, maybe you're just too little. And it doesn't have to be this adversarial thing. It can just be like, that's where you are and this is where I am. And if you don't believe in Valentine's, goodbye. That's the number one thing jerks say. I just don't believe it's a commercial holiday. So are birthdays. You expect something on your birthday, right, bro? Right? So is the Super Bowl. Had no problem plugging on into that. But if you're looking for an excuse to not do something nice for the woman who holds you down, listens to your bullshit stories about your family and your job, and you can't get some roses with a smile on your face in service of a blowjob, get out. Get out. Get out. I will buy you roses. I'm not going to ask for sexual favors in return, but I will buy you roses. You deserve better than this. So look at what you can do, but then more importantly, look at maybe what you can't. And then decide if the situation still works for you, because it doesn't have to. And a relationship doesn't have to be an F for it not to be an A. C's get degrees, C's do not please. Follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, like I said, and be sure to listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out Wednesday, and come back for more Shallentine videos. Plus, I'm going to be doing my celeb videos anyway. It's going to be a busy week, but I'm here for you guys.